I don't hear any sound.
I don't either. Hi, welcome. Greetings from Mental Health Monday host to you. We're so happy that you are here. Hopefully you guys could hear the intro because we could not. But that's okay because we didn't need to hear it. It was for
Hey,
you. So
exactly.
welcome. If you can hear us clearly, please put a 1 in the chat. So that way we know you're hearing us.
And
As
tell
soon
us
as
where
I
you're coming
Yeah.
from. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And please tell us where you're viewing from as well. It's good to see you, Dr. Whyte. I don't see any ones. I'm hoping uh that okay,
There we
good.
go.
Thank
We
you,
got a
Robert.
one.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
We are
Robert.
so happy that you can hear us. We are glad to be here and to be back with you. We've missed a couple of weeks.
Welcome
Um,
back
I,
from the land down under.
Yes, and I'm happy to be back. It was great there, though. Australia's a wonderful, wonderful place. I was telling everyone that asked how was our trip. It was Sydney is just so clean. It's like the cleanest, biggest city I've ever been in.
Oh
So
man.
it's very clean, which is great. The people are very kind and sweet. Fun activities to them are dangerous activities. So that's the way they have fun.
Oh
But
man.
we were happy and had a great time. Yes, please continue to put where you're viewing from. Paula is watching from Kentucky. So welcome to Mental Health Monday. And if this is your very first time, put a 1 in the chat. We have
Uh,
Patricia from New York. Welcome.
Jason
Veronica.
from Oregon.
All right. And Veronica from Georgia. Good to see
Excellent.
all of you. We're so happy that you are here with us this evening. As you saw, that we are talking about marriage and relationships. So we're answering all questions. And I think I have a little teeny echo. So I'm going to turn
Oh,
something.
you sound really good. So
Oh,
just
okay. Well, then that's just maybe that's in my mind. All right. We have Jamaica. But
ooh, Jamaica, nice.
Karen from Jamaica, welcome. Sharice from Virginia, good to see you, Sharice. So, like I was saying, we are talking about marriage and relationships, and we're taking your questions. And you know, there's so many. Just people have so many questions or so many or even thoughts and comments about marriage and relationship because really besides becoming parents it's probably the most beautiful, wonderful, difficult, and challenging relationship you will ever have in this world. You know, it's beautiful and challenging all at the same time. Even when you're like perfectly matched and deeply in love, it's still a challenge. And that's just like with parenting. Like you love your children so much, but it's still a challenge to raise them in a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to do all to raise them correctly and do all the right things, but they're human beings. So they have their own thoughts and
Right.
their own behaviors that, just are naturally built into them. And so it's the deepest love you'll ever feel and the biggest challenge you'll ever experience. So,
Yeah, I love the
yes,
way you said that, but it's just so true. It's so true.
yes,
You
yes.
wouldn't have it any other way at the end of the day.
But you wouldn't have it any other way.
Way.
And
Yeah.
the same thing with a true happy marriage. Like you love them to death, and sometimes you just want to pull your hair out, but that's okay.
Well, that's good that you want to hurt yourself rather than your partner.
And
So that's
not the other
good.
person. You don't want to
That's
pull
good.
their hair. You pull
That's
your
good.
hair out, and you pull your
That's
hair out
good.
like if you're a Christian in prayer. You
Right, right,
go
right,
to
right. There
God
you go.
and say,
No,
God,
there you
help
go.
me.
There you
Help
go.
me. So yeah, we want to take your questions
Right.
on marriage that you may have. And I feel like we have a little bit of experience, not just because we are both mental health professionals, but also because we've been married. For me, 27, and for you, I think you guys are just right under us. Are you 26, 25? You're
We
like
are
right there.
25. We're
Yeah,
25 years. We're
you're right there.
25 years. We're on our way to 26, I guess, this
Yeah.
year. But yeah.
So together
Yeah.
we have over 50 years of experience
Wow.
together.
Wow. Wow.
Your
Wow.
experience and our experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yes, so we definitely want
Want
to
your
hear
questions.
from you guys, and we know that this is something that is just it's always the right topic to talk about, because either people are looking to get into to marriage if they're young and dating, and then there's always people who are in marriage and want to make it, even if your marriage is it's okay, it's good, it's but every even when an old car runs well, it still needs maintenance to stay running well.
Got it, man. Absolutely.
If you don't do
Well,
that,
I
it'll
am more
stop.
than
Go ahead.
happy to kick off with a question for you, Sister Tante.
Okay, and then I'll bounce one back to you.
Hey, no problem, no problem.
Mhm.
Well, let me think. I'm thinking to myself, of course, there'll be a multiplicity of things, but what do you think are, you don't have to just make it one, but you could say maybe the top three. What do you think are the things that contribute to a relationship failing, a marital relationship failing and divorcing? What do you think are the things that contribute to that?
I want to say, the easy go to answer would say poor communication, but that's not my answer. There's poor communication because there's lack of maturity. Lack of maturity. And I say that because it takes all the maturity that a human being can muster in that we can as human beings to be able to not say the first thing that pops up in your head, not to um, respond in that rude way, or to have body language that is off, or even to not do the silence treatment and all of those things. It's like if you can, because you can have your own thoughts and feelings about things, but if you don't know how to communicate that in a healthy way, then you're always going to be bickering. You're always going to have attitude. It's just going to begin like you start your marriage like this, so connected. And then after a while, it starts to become like this because the way that you're communicating, talking to each other, and then some other behaviors. And so I think that that is the beginning of breaking up that connection, which leads to you not wanting to be in the marriage anymore and you stop trying. Go ahead.
I gotta completely agree with that. I gotta completely agree with that. So, so skills, and I think a lot of people don't realize this. Skills are an important part of a happy union. And it's not even always going to be happy, but having the skill to communicate effectively,
Mhm.
as you said, having the wisdom to know, shut up. Don't say anything
when
right
when
now.
to shut up, or
Having
or
the
or
wisdom at times. What were you going to say?
just how to say something, how to say something and not say something.
Hey, I'm curious. Are you somebody that watches the series Love is Blind or
You know, I n- I have seen episodes. I can't say a series. I have seen
right?
episodes, and of course, my I was going to say teenage daughters, but my last teenage daughter just turned 20 on Saturday, so I have no more teenagers.
Wow.
But
Right.
they're the ones that introduced me to that type of stuff, and
Right,
so
right.
I did see one, and I laughed at it because. But anyways, why were you asking that question? Because I have thoughts about
Well,
the
you
program.
talked about communication.
Right.
And and
That's
and
yes.
at the heart of so many of the issues
Yeah.
is communication because you're like,
Yeah.
I understand exactly what you want to say, but there was another way to say that.
Yeah.
There was
Exactly.
another way to say that. And like it's just skills. It's
Yeah. The skills.
skills. I'm amazed. I was telling my wife that people are so focused on the wedding rather than the
Oh,
marriage. I
right.
almost want to design a marriage like experience, but like building off of the concepts of the wedding. Like, what if you did
Yes.
everything that you do for the wedding for
Mm.
the marriage? What if you
Love
planned
it.
your wedding and you planned your marriage?
Yeah.
Like you extended it.
Yeah, I want you to be. We're going to answer this first question, but I want you to take a little deeper stab at that. That's pretty cool. I want to see what your thoughts are on that.
Well, you made a budget for the wedding. Well, what's your
Right.
budget for the marriage?
Got
You
it.
know, what are your plans?
Mhm.
You talked about fitness was important for the wedding. Is fitness important for the marriage?
Mm.
You know, you needed,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yes.
spirituality was important for the wedding. You thought
Yes.
about it. Spirituality
Right.
was important. I wonder if it's important for the marriage. You
Mm.
know, a lot for
Mhm.
how many marriages, the last time they really like have the pastor really involved is just the wedding, you know.
Yes.
But it's
Mhm.
like a lot of the behaviors, if you extended it from the wedding to the marriage, I wonder if that would help. Um,
Mm. Yes.
you and even to plan a wedding, you would know, well, who's done the wedding before? Who's done it? And how do
Yes.
we find out how it's done? Like
Mhm.
you would
Mhm.
make an effort to gain some skills.
Right.
What if you took that same attitude to, I wonder what are the skills for a marriage, especially a long-lasting, thriving marriage?
Mhm. Mhm.
I wonder if
Yeah.
the outcomes would be different.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay, we have a question from Deborah, and please put
Okay,
your
yeah.
questions in the chat. Also, share this link on your social media. Invite your friends, invite your married friends, invite your single friends because they need to hear this too. Just so it can help them have some tools so for when they get married. So, yes, invite them to Mental Health Monday. All right. So Deborah is asking, how do you know when you are ready to get married, or do you ever know? Good question, Deborah. Okay.
Yeah.
I,
Okay, you go
I
first, sis.
I'll take a stab at that. I don't to be honest, I don't know the perfect answer to that. It's a great question though, because everybody's situation is different. But I'm just going to use myself as an example. How about that? Transparency. So, and this is for Christians because people who are Christians and non-Christians watch Mental Health Mondays. So I'm speaking as far as for a Christian. I knew like when I had had dated a lot. I don't say a lot, but enough before I met my husband. And I when I met him, I had my closest relationship with God that I had ever had, meaning I was completely content with just me and God. I was
Wow.
happy, I was joyful. I was, knew where I wanted, where I felt like God was leading me in life. And I was just in a healthy space with God. I didn't feel a need for a man. I mean, of course, I always wanted a husband and it would be great. I knew it would be great to have the right husband, but it wasn't like my whole focus on what I did every day, or I wasn't like out searching and seeking. Meaning there's nothing wrong with being open and putting yourself in positions to, meet somebody. I'm not saying that. I'm just, speaking for my myself where my headspace was at. And because I feel like God had taken me, he had taken me through a journey where I was healed from past relationships and other things. So God was doing such a work on me to prepare me for my husband that's why I was ready. So again, I'm speaking to the Christian, right? So if you allow God, if you're a single person and you allow God to do the work in your life, he's going to prepare you to be ready for that person. And then he's going to bring that person right into your space. And that's what happens. Um, so, and I was, but the point of me sharing that was really to say I was content with myself and in a healthy mental space to be able to receive another person in a healthy way. And so that's what I believe made me ready.
That's really interesting because
That was
it's
really a
almost
freestyle.
well, I mean,
But it was true though. But
it's almost like It's almost like the butterfly, like where when you stop chasing the butterfly, then it comes,
Yeah.
It lands right in the net.
Yeah.
But it sounds like when you became whole, it's like now you were actually ready to
Right. Because
be
before I
to be a
wasn't.
partner. And
Sometimes
I,
we
I and
want
I'm
a
not even saying
partner.
that. Yeah, yeah,
No, no,
right.
no, 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 but I'm
Right,
saying
right,
that. I'm
right,
saying
right,
that.
right,
I
right.
wasn't ready. I really wasn't. And and a lot of times we want that, but we're not ready. And that's why the right person is not there yet because we're not ready for them. So and we've said this on this program many times is single people, this is the time to read all the books you can on marriage, just work on bettering yourself and being content and happy so you don't rush the process. Because the worst, now, would you agree with this, Dr. White? The worst thing in the world is to marry the wrong person.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Look,
just,
man,
and sometimes
if
when you rush stuff, you're going to marry the wrong person.
if you want a front row seat to misery,
It's misery, pure
marry the
misery.
wrong person. I would only add to what you said. It is easy to go into marriage with the mindset of what will I get out of this? And
Right,
the mistake in doing that is it doesn't help you answer that question that you asked, Deborah, which is how do I know if I'm prepared? So a
right,
question you can ask yourself is given the person that I want, given the
hmm
person that I want, what are the things that they want?
right,
And am I in a position to deliver those things?
right.
And when your answer is yes, I am,
Yes,
and it's
right.
true, it's got to be true.
Yeah, it does. Has to be true.
Because people will so lie to themselves. But presuming it's true and presuming it can be verified by an independent source, yes, you can deliver those things. Yes,
Yeah.
you're ready. I think the
Hmm.
piece that Sister Tante just mentioned in terms of the spiritual preparedness,
Hmm.
I think that's an important space as well,
Yeah.
where your relationship with God is such that God can bless you with a spouse and it won't
Hmm.
interfere
Right.
with the relationship with him. In fact, it will enhance it, if anything.
Yes.
I think God
Yes.
has to trust you with that. So I think that's a really interesting piece.
Yeah. And then, yeah, just what you said. And then going back to Deborah's question, how do you know when you're ready to get married? Or do you ever know? Um, and then again, I'm speaking to the Christian. If this person that you naturally, you feel an attraction to them, but they also, and you're getting to know them and they are drawing you closer to God, then that is something serious to take in prayer and be like, okay, God, I'm attracted to this person. We get along and they help bring me closer to you. And um, then God will give you the answer, yes or no. But that's a very huge, significant sign that that probably is the person. Okay. Amber has a friend whose husband is 15 years 15 years is a drug addict, hard drugs, and they have several children, three with special needs. Wow. Wow. He doesn't want help, and she's afraid of being a single mom. Any advice? Wow. That that is such a
We'll
difficult situation.
we can
He's
we can we can pause for prayer for that situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For
let's
sure.
let's have a word of
Yeah, let's
prayer.
pause for prayer.
Our Father and our God, dear Lord, we are so grateful that you specialize in the impossible. So, thank you for being the God that draws near when things get difficult. But we would pray for this situation. We'd pray that you would show what the correct steps are, what
Hmm.
you would have them do. And we pray that it would turn into a testimony. And we pray this in your
Amen.
holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Um,
Amen.
that's a hard one, Amra.
Very hard.
Not knowing the specific details, that's hard. I would say there are 12-step groups for people affected by like a person who's using drugs. They're literally 12-step groups. And sometimes that can be a helpful resource because it helps you navigate some very, very specific and nuanced situations. So I would say you might want to explore that. You might want to explore professional counseling because, again, they're going to understand what the dynamics are. Why am I even answering the question like this? Well, these situations are so nuanced. For example, if you just up and said, for example, hey, you should leave this person, do you know there are a lot of people who lose their life in the process of leaving?
Yeah.
Because it can be so incredibly dangerous. And so I'm not implying by any means that this person needs to just leave, but I just wanted to give you an example of why you want specific information,
Yeah.
specific to your situation after you've given the full picture of what it is that's going on. What are
Absolutely.
your thoughts, Sister Tante?
I absolutely agree with you. I don't think I could add anything more, but Nurse Florence, which is that's Florence, right? That's your wife, right?
That's probably my wife.
Welcome, Nurse Florence. But I like what she stated. Amra's friend already sounds like a single woman or like a single mom. And I thought that it's funny that she wrote that was her comment because that was a thought I had right off the bat. I was like, you're afraid to be single? Like you have an addict for a husband on hard drugs. You are, I agree, already single.
That's
Not
profound.
like on paper, but in every day. Okay, and I want to get to Robert's question. It's a great question, but let's take Sharice here. Are you supposed to keep secrets in your marriage? For example, if someone asks you not to tell your spouse something, is it okay to keep that from them? Absolutely not, unless it's a surprise birthday party. Because I'm guilty of that for sure. But no, that's
Well,
my question.
your take.
Um, that's
Well,
my answer.
Well, I'm sure you're going to agree with this caveat. You and I both work in a profession where we have to keep secrets, and obviously we
True,
can't
but
tell,
that's
the
difference.
so that's there's obviously that,
That is
and then
difference.
now there are people
That
that
doesn't
might come
impact
to
our
you,
marriage by any. Go
right?
ahead. Go ahead.
There are people who may come to you in confidence, possibly with something therapeutically related. So it's almost along the lines of your profession. Because I get approached at church from time to time. Someone approaches you,
True.
and
Yeah,
it
and I
doesn't
guess
pertain to my
it
relationship. So it's like
doesn't.
I don't feel compelled. Of course, I'll still get in trouble with my wife. Oh, you can't tell. See, I'm not going to tell you nothing. Isn't that what you do, Miss White? All right, but all that said, so those are the little rare situations. But that
Mhm.
said, what you're speaking to, Sister Atante, is triangulation. Like
Right.
when you hold a
Right.
secret, it's almost like a triangle is
Mhm.
being created, and there's a little interrupt in the marital union because the pledge is forsaking all others.
Yes.
Forsaking all others. That means nothing between you, nothing between you. So there should be there technically there should be no real secrets kept
Right.
between you, and sometimes these can be ways that don't honor your relationship. So I think that's what you're cautioning against.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
Should I
Okay.
marry a
Is
woman who isn't on the same spiritual level? For example, I came into the church under heavy teaching and my fiance didn't. Example, she isn't familiar with Daniel and Revelations like me. Um,
so
all right.
teach
So,
her.
brother,
So teach
thank you for
her.
the question. What's that? Yeah.
I said so teach her if you since you know it better. But go ahead.
Presuming she's teachable. Presuming, like, for my response, it all comes
Right.
down to, is she
That's true.
teachable?
If she's open.
Or when you're teaching, she's bored, or her body language is clearly communicating, I have
Right.
no interest in this. Well, in my estimation, that would be a problem. But I do want to deal with that
But
spiritual
she is
level. I
yeah,
want to
she
do
is in
that
the
spiritual,
church.
right?
She
Like,
just didn't learn it like
yeah,
him.
yeah. So just because a person isn't aware of prophecy
Right.
doesn't mean they may not have a very sophisticated spirituality.
Right.
It could be
Absolutely.
very sophisticated. There are people who are oblivious to the 2300 days prophecy, and yet they have um, a morality
Mhm.
and a love that is talked about in First Corinthians. That look, man, you can speak with the tongues of angels, but if
Right.
you don't have love,
Then
then the
you have
prophecy is like
nothing.
clanging cymbals. And
Right.
I'm not trying to clown the 2300 days prophecy, by the way, because I feel like it's not either or. I feel like, in fact, understanding those things absolutely can enhance your expression of love, no
Right.
question. But I
Absolutely.
do want you, brother, to understand that
Brother
when you're talking about
Tennessee.
spiritual levels, it's not
Mhm.
just knowledge.
Right.
It's morality, and it's a living, breathing spiritual relationship. It's a living, breathing ability to manifest
Mhm.
a love. Like,
Mhm.
don't you hate experiencing people who can drop science as far as from a prophetic standpoint,
Right.
but they don't let you out of the parking lot. They don't pause their cars to let you out of the parking lot, or they,
They're
they
not
don't
very
show love in meaningful
kind and
ways.
sweet, and yeah, they don't show
Like,
love.
you're not kind, they're not sweet, super judgmental, kind of hostile,
Yeah. To be
as opposed to
honest, it's
other
my
people.
least favorite Christian. You're describing my least favorite.
As opposed to those who, now there are also those who, because of their knowledge of it, it enhances their commitment to be loving, and they understand the importance of, they hold it in perspective.
Right.
So I just want to help you see, brother, that like spiritual level, it's not just the knowledge that determines that. It's how much are you being used by God? To me, that's what determines
Mm.
spirituality. How available are you to be used by God?
Amen. Amen. Um, yes. Amber, can you, that you're saying that Robert has a second part to his question? So yeah, please. He says, I'm almost 40 years old and feel like I've waited too long already to find a fellow SDA woman. I feel like I need to compromise and accept a woman who may drink and or outside the Seventh Day Adventist faith. So I guess so. I'm assuming the first part of your question to say, I just don't want to wait too long and become old and remorseful of not compromising. Even you never will be remorseful for not compromising, even if it meant marrying not my most ideal type. Help with my help with my mindset and offer advice, please, host.
All right, let's do the brother a favor. Why don't you drop your email out? We
I
have
know,
us an eligible bachelor, and he wants
right?
a good Seventh Day Adventist woman. So why don't you drop your email in the chat or
You
something
know,
like that?
look, I'm gonna just put it out there. We're
Yeah.
gonna answer your question more in
Right.
depthly, brother. Wait, I'm getting Robert and Brother Tennessee confused. We're talking to Brother Tennessee. Okay, um, we are. I can't say actively praying, but we need to be actively praying. But we have mentioned starting a singles ministry at LMOC. We have lots of single folks,
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
um,
That's hot.
so we would
We
love to do that. But
No, I was joking. I was joking when I'm saying, and like whatever attorneys we're linked to are probably like, don't do that because you don't want to be held responsible for start. So I'm joking, brother.
No, yeah, but
But
this is
yeah, but
something
go
we were
ahead.
talking about before. But
Yeah.
I just want to take a stab. Like his question, can you, Amber, put up the first or the second question because I don't want because there was a lot there. First of all, 40 years old is not old. Isn't
Exactly.
that right, Dr. White? 40 is not
Especially
old.
ever since I turned 50, that is
And
not
I'm
old at all.
51. Yeah, it's not.
That
Okay.
is not old at
That's
all.
not old.
Yeah.
I'm going to just my stepfather married my mom when he was probably 48. He had never been married before. They had the most beautiful love story relationship. So it just yes, it seems I'm not saying that I hope, it's not going to be 48. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like to find like an amazing um, love of your life that God has for you, it may take some time, but 40 is not old. And compromise is never the option. That just should never. It's just that's just not that just should not be an option, because when you compromise, you're ignoring red flags, and when you ignore red flags, those red flags don't become yellow, and then green. When you get in the married, they become redder.
Well,
They become like deep, deep, bright burgundy flags. They don't go away. All those things that you're seeing that you're like, oh, I'll just compromise here and just to say like, oh, I got married, but why? Because you compromised, and so you're not going to be happy in the marriage. You'll be able to say, yes, I'm married, and I are legally married in this situation. I'm in a relationship, and society can look at you and be like, oh, you got married, you did the right thing, but you're not happy. You're not happy because you
one,
compromised, and you compromised on the most important thing, your your spiritual walk, and that's why you don't want to do that. Go ahead.
yeah, man, you took the words right out of my mouth with that one. Like, there are some decisions where it's like, maybe this one, maybe that one. I don't know. If you're thinking about some vegan ice cream and you want to go between chocolate, okay, understandable, right?
Compromise. Yeah.
That's one thing, right?
Uh-huh.
When you're talking about marriage, like that is not a decision to be made from a place of desperation. It's not a
Absolutely not.
decision to be made from a place of fear. It's not a decision to be made from a place of like compromise. Like this is the relationship that has the potential to build you, draw you closer to God,
Yeah.
and and by the same token on the other side cause you absolute misery, drag you away from God. It can be a it can be a nuclear bomb to your health, your mental health. No, no, no. So this is not the decision to be like, I'm not sure. I told you I was watching that program, uh whatever it's called, right? Yeah, Love is Blind, right? Love is Blind.
Love is blind. Yeah.
And there was a guy who was in the process of trying to make the decision, and he's like, and it was like 50-50. He's like, I couldn't, I don't know, I don't know. And I'm thinking to my bro, that's a definite no. That's a
Right.
no. That's a definite no, because that is not the decision you arrive at. I could go this way, I could go that way. If it's that's a no. Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be an absolute yes. This is an
Yes.
absolute yes. Now, brother, I would say personally, there's something else to focus on. There's something else to
Yeah.
focus on. Like if for some reason circumstances are such that God has not brought somebody into your life at this point, and I say this with the knowledge, I don't know your situation, so just take it with a grain of salt. Take it really to your therapist. But what I'm impressed to say at this time is there might be something else to focus on. There might be something else. And just like Atante said, it's like once you've addressed that thing, once you've God just he'll do his part. He'll
Yeah.
do
He
his
will.
part.
He
And
definitely will.
even from an attraction standpoint, one of the most recent commentaries I heard, you tell me if you agree with this, Sister Tante, women are drawn to the display of competency.
Yes.
Women are drawn to competency. So when you have become more competent in some area of your life, when
Hmm.
you have a discipline you're more competent in, or management of your finances, or your physique, or your whatever, it
Right.
automatically is a draw to people. But it's not the decision to be made from a place of fear, weakness, desperation. What are your thoughts?
Right. No, well, what I want to say is I think we should bring Nurse Florence on next week because she has lots of great
Oh, I
comments.
didn't see. She
She
said
said,
something else.
"Where is he looking for this woman?" I think people expect the ideal person will fall into their laps. But you know what's interesting, Nurse
What's
Florence
up?
and to Dr. White is my husband basically did he didn't fall into my lap, but he just showed up at my doorstep. He like literally. We'll have to tell that story another time, um but yeah, and then where she's I let's see, she says after thoughtful prayer, one should consider networking through family and friends, visiting other Seventh-day Adventist churches, utilizing dating sites, etc. God will do his part. Absolutely, Nurse Florence. And I was going to say, and somebody in the comments said there's Adventist dating websites, and they met their wife through one of those. And honestly, even in some of the other, it's not there's other dating Christian dating websites out there that you can put a basically your filter is so specific that you can find, if you're of course specifically looking for an Adventist, you can find them on there as well. I encourage some of my clients who are single and want to be married and they're in a situation where, they might live in a rural area and the church is small that they go to or whatever. And they're just having a hard time meeting people, that you can meet good people on the appropriate dating sites, but you could actually meet bad people too. So, anyways,
Well,
it's
I
a
gotta
it's
say this because my wife and I were providing support to someone on on an Adventist dating site, and that thing was stringent. It was like, "Who's your pastor? What do you
yeah.
think of the 28 fundamental beliefs?" Blah 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 blah. They weren't playing. They were like, "We don't sugar. No, we
Did you
wanted
break the
proof."
Sabbath last week? No. Then
Like
I
they
don't
were
know.
hardcore. They were hardcore.
Wow.
So it's like but it kind of gave you some assurance that it was a real, Adventist that you're going to be
Yeah.
interacting with, which
Right.
which I found really, really interesting.
Yes. It's funny because this was about marriage, and this is still about marriage, but we're getting more singles questions, which is, I think it's cool. Okay. It's hard to find single men in the Seventh Day Adventist Church. Well, we were just talking to one, but okay. I'm at
Okay.
the point.
That's funny.
That was just me talking, guys. Okay. Oh, but they're at the age of 35 and 40. Well, Brother Robert is 37. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm at
Right.
a point that I'm not as hopeful in finding a partner in the church, especially at my age. Okay, that's just what Brother Robert was saying too, and I'm assuming that this is. Look, I think this is a woman, Shan. I was assuming that
It's a
Shan is a
good thing
woman.
you were on this evening. Look at that. That's
I
why you
know.
gotta exactly see, see,
God works in mysterious
serious
ways.
ways. His wonders to perform.
Or wait, not
Yeah,
Robert, it's Brother Tennessee. Actually, I'm getting Robert and Brother Tennessee all
exactly.
messed up.
Exactly.
Okay,
I think
he's
Robert is married, if
oh,
I'm
it's
not
Robert.
mistaken.
Okay, it's Robert.
But Brother
Okay.
Tennessee is the
Wait,
one
no, I think it
who's
was
single.
Robert who was asking the question. Are Brother Tennessee and Robert single? Because they're both like laughing and one's raising his hand. He's like, I'm here.
Brother Tennessee is
We might
laughing.
have already started the singles meeting. This might be the first meeting tonight on Mental Health
Absolutely.
Monday. Like,
Absolutely.
the stories. I met my person at a mental health online meeting. Okay,
Sucks.
I'm
Maybe
being
we should
I'm
just
being silly, but you never know.
we
You
should
know what?
bring on the founder of that.
You
Yeah.
both need to join Mighty Networks and meet each other on Mighty Networks.
Robert says he's single.
Okay. All
Robert said
right.
he's single. Well,
Well.
hey, who was that person that's losing hope? There was some person that was losing hope.
Well,
Uh,
that was Shan. I
that was
and I
Shan.
and I
Well, hey,
believe Shan is
Shan.
a female. Shan, if you're Shan, oh, Brother Tennessee's engaged. Okay. All right, Brother Tennessee.
Oh,
And
sorry,
I'm
brother.
confusing the questions. Okay, you're okay. Okay, Robert's single. Okay, Robert's like, look, don't give this one away. Okay, Robert's on. Shan, are you on Mighty Networks? We are just really, I don't know.
That's
We're
what I'm saying.
becoming.
Wouldn't it be cool if we did like a singles event, like a singles mixer?
Yes,
Wouldn't
I
that be
think
awesome?
yes, it would
I think
be.
that'd be so hot.
We should
Like,
talk about that
yeah,
after.
yes,
Okay,
because
Shan said, okay, Robert. This is the best mental health Monday
ever
ever.
we we
And
might
we did not
produce
plan.
we might produce a couple. That'd
I
be wild.
know.
That would be
This would
wild.
be okay. Well, if it works out, guys, yeah. She said, yeah,
Shanna's a
it's
female.
a she. Well, that yay. Well, now we can.
Hey,
All right. Well, we'll be
and the
praying
edge
about
runners.
that for God's will to be done.
All the
Um,
all the married people are like, they're like, don't rush in. They're like, don't rush in.
they're
Married
like,
people are
okay,
quiet.
they're like, okay, singles. This was supposed to be our program, but really, it's if you look at the flyer that was put, it had a singles thing on
Absolutely.
there as well. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Does physical
Back down to earth.
attraction play a role in a relationship and marriage? For example, you heard the term let yourself go and the physical attraction isn't there. Listen. I sound like
Oh,
Patrice, listen, but she always says that.
seriously, seriously.
I know she says that. Um honestly, we should do our very best. We should do our very best. Our spouses met us, and they were physically attracted to us when they met us, and we should both husband and wife. Because people talk about women. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna say this little thing here. When I go to reunions, when I went to my 30th reunion for high school, and because I live in the Huntsville area, we go to alumni weekend at Oakwood. Okay, so I don't know if any of my alumni are going to be watching right now, but I see men that I went to college with that are like they're just bigger than they were when we were in college. And people don't really talk about, so like the man just doesn't have, you can't just let yourself go. You know what I'm saying? Like not take care of your body. Like women, yes, we should do the same, but sometimes a lot of times there's so much focus on the woman. And I'm just like, I see like big beer bellies and I'm just like, wow,
Wow.
we're not working
Wow.
out. And I'm not
Wow.
judging or being mean to anybody. So I'm sorry if
Wow.
it comes off that way, but I'm just saying that both husband and wife should just remember that their spouses were attracted to them for a reason. Of course, your personality was there, of course, but you should just do your very best. Sometimes there's health issues, and true love overlooks that. You know what I'm saying? And but it is nice to also like imagine my husband's a gym rat, right? So imagine if I just let myself go.
No.
Absolutely not. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh,
Because here it is like he's so they're yeah, I'm not doing that. We're gonna leave it there. But yeah, that's my response off the cuff.
I
Dr.
think
White?
that was brother. That was a definitely yes. I think that was a definite yes. If I heard what Sister Tante was saying,
Yes.
um, yeah, that's just the thing. I think let's be honest, women are a little bit more forgiving, and I think that's part of why. Like, I think
I think
sometimes
that's
men
because
get a
of society though.
kind of
Like we have a
society,
lot of
but
pressures from society to not let ourselves go, or
absolutely.
we get more shamed if we do where men don't, and that's not fair.
No, yeah, no, no question. So the answer to your question is yes, and both of you, like, it's a wonderful gift to give to your spouse a commitment to stay fit, attractive, what have you. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful gift, and
Mhm.
it's even better when they don't have to ask. So yeah, so I would say that.
True.
Okay, women are very forgiving. There's force. Except you. You don't have to be. Isn't that right, Sister Florence? You don't have to be.
I think we need to bring our spouses on. We need to do an
I'm
episode with our spouses because I think the audience would really enjoy that.
I'm down. I'm down. I'm down.
Yes. So we got to schedule it with Ivor because he teaches a class on Mondays at the same time. But if he plans it, we can make it happen
100% down. Well, and then
because Florence is
right, Florence?
free.
Florence, you'd be down, right? She says
She's
she's
basically
laughing.
doing this one with us.
Exactly. I could just invite you down here. Oh, that's funny. But
She's upstairs.
no, yeah, she's upstairs. But yeah, we're down. Isn't that right, Florence? Are you down?
She said LOL.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
Deborah said yes,
Well,
yes.
yeah, Deborah says yes. Deborah says yes.
That wasn't Florence. But yeah,
But yes,
you can see if I live the message that I preach or not. You could hold me accountable, folk at
I have
home.
seen you in person, Dr. White. You're in shape. So I
Oh
think
no,
yeah.
no. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm always down to spend more time with Dr. White.
Well, that
Oh, it
is
would be fun.
good.
It would be fun. It would be 100% fun.
Yes, Robert,
Absolutely.
I'm glad you joined this evening too. I think Shan is glad too. So we'll see.
100%.
We do have about 10 more minutes or so. So please put questions in the chat. Tonight has been a lot of fun, guys. But if you have questions about being single or marriage, this is your time. And I think we're trying to make a series out of this and bringing you guys a little more tools and stuff.
Absolutely.
So we'll definitely be
Absolutely.
continuing next week. But yes, if you have questions that you've wanted to ask mental health professionals, but you just have not had that opportunity, please do that. Also, just being a licensed marriage and family therapist and working with couples, I find that People like to wait until the situation gets really, really bad in their marriage to seek help. And, I mean, we're up for the challenge. This is why we do what we do, but it's better to come sooner than later.
Yeah, but it's like not changing the oil, you know? It's like
Right.
not changing the oil for the duration of the time you own the car and
Right.
then bringing the car in.
Right.
And you're just
Very good analogy,
it's like, do you understand the engine is dead? Like we're gonna have to replace that engine. And
which is
prior to
more
this, all we had to do
expensive.
was replace the oil. Like
Yeah.
it's we're just looking at it. And so that's why it can be so cool to work with
Mhm.
premarital couples.
Yes.
Um, I feel bad for premarital couples because a lot of times people are so prepared to rush in and be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'll give you the counseling," even when they're not qualified, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And it's a disservice, but it's so powerful to get those tools because
Mhm.
marriage is a skill.
Yes.
If you look at a couple that are together over a long period of time and they're happy, I'm not talking about
Mhm.
the situation where they're trapped in it and they just won't leave, probably because they can't afford the divorce or what have you.
Right.
No, I mean if they're actually happy, it's a skill.
Yes.
They have learned how to communicate with one another. They have
Mhm.
learned what are the sacred stones to be hailed. They have learned what fights to pick and what fights not to.
Absolutely.
There are skill sets that are counterintuitive that they have honed, and I think that's
Right.
really important.
Jason has a question. He's saying, should a couple do only couples counseling or should they each do individual therapy as well? It's a great question, Jason. And I would just want to take a stab at that. And then Dr. White, you can answer it as well. So when I work with couples, I kind of assess their situation. And there are times where I was like, you know what, guys, there's two different ways. I mean, sometimes they need to pause marriage counseling and both go get individual counseling because there's not a lot of work we can do with marriage counseling because their individual needs or counseling that is needed is so severe that it needs to be dealt with. And other times I'll say, okay, you need to be getting individual counseling at the same time that we are doing marriage counseling because there's just so many things that, again, that need to be worked on. And they're not as severe where it needs to pause, but sometimes it does need to pause. So they're both very important and there is a lot of individual work. And sometimes, to be honest, I'm doing some individual work with them, not like we're just doing it one on one and are going as deep if we were just if I was just seeing that person as an individual client. But some of the tools and techniques that I'm giving them are the same things I would be giving to individual clients. So I'm doing couples and individual together, not to the extreme as if it was just individual, but I'm doing some of that within the sessions. So yes, it is needed. Go ahead, Dr. White. If you
Exactly
have
what you said. Exactly. I
okay.
don't have anything to add on that. I think there's your identity as a couple, but you still have your identity as the contributors to that, relationship.
Mhm.
So I completely agree with you. So I don't think it hurts. And I'm sorry, but it is so easy to underestimate how
Mhm.
important therapy and counseling can be. It's so easy.
Right.
And so there's no question that having a person that you can go to and kind of hash out your thoughts so that
Mhm.
sometimes you can then better present it to your spouse, it can be really helpful.
Right.
So much of the problems happen when we say it the wrong way. And so much of
Absolutely.
saying it the wrong way is from the absence of clarity.
Mhm.
And so that's what a good therapist is going to help you gain is clarity.
Yes. There's
Someone
two good
asked,
questions in the chat that I think we should
yeah, so couples devotion, you have anything off the top of your head?
I don't. I don't. A couple's devotional, I
I
don't.
just I just
But
consulted Uncle Chat Um,
Okay, good. I'm glad you did
and
that.
and so the workbook for couples from SDA's, and are you? I presume you're SDAK.
Well, they said
Um,
devotion. I mean, I know good books, but couple
no,
devotion. But go
this
ahead.
was the workbook for couples from SDA's Prepare and Enrich version. So it said workbook for couples, Seventh
Mm,
Day Adventist version, offers exercises and Bible verses for couples. And then it says the weekly devotional series by SDA Family Ministry, devotional readings for an intimate marriage,
mhm.
is what they offer. But just full disclosure, that was chat.
Yeah, no, that's good. When they said devotional, that threw me off a little bit as far as I'm thinking like a devotional that they read together every morning that's centered around marriage. But there's a lot of great books out there for marriage. This is one that I used to recommend a lot. Is goodness, what is their name? Divorce Proof Your Marriage, but I'm not thinking of the title right now. I know that's like the subtitle, um, and I'm forgetting their name, so I probably shouldn't have said that. But if you put in the chat "Divorce Proof Your Marriage," it's by a Christian couple as well, and it's
Mm,
very good.
not Hendrix, not the Hendrix. I don't think they're. Are they
It's
Christian? No.
I want to say his last name is something Berg. It ends with something Berg, but I'm not remembering exactly.
Right.
Um, okay, there was another good question. There was a good question about do you think people, yes. Oh, well, okay, that's the second question. There's another one too after that. Why do you think a lot of people nowadays divorcing so easily, even in the church?
um, okay, so first and foremost, let me just say that so often they say, hey, the marriage divorce rate is the same in the world as it is in the church. Guys, which of those groups do you think gets more demonic attention? Which group do you think gets more? So now, if it's getting more attention and it's just staying at the same rate, I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
Right.
Now, that said, in terms of why divorce is happening, I think it is exactly how we started the program. I do not believe people view marriage as something deserving of cultivating a skill set. Like they don't see it as something that requires skills. And it is. Like I think people sincerely feel like if the person is perfect enough, I'll be all set. And those of us married know there is no one that can provide for all of your desires. So, what happens? What happens is at some point in the relationship, you experience a desire that is not met.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do with that experience often will determine the direction of your marriage. And it can set you up to try to get counterfeits to that desire.
Mm-hmm.
Some people start watching pornography or all this kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. When in fact there is a discipline and understanding that just because I'm not satisfied or just because I've found this area where I need to now do some work, it doesn't mean that should be the end of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, you'll see that people will do this like marriage until better can be gotten, and rather than for better or worse, because for better or worse means that even while our stock is going down, our investment in each other is going up. And that's
Mm-hmm.
a powerful security to have, that as I'm aging, as maybe I'm not as attractive as I am, maybe I don't have the same physical prowess that I have, my partner is still invested in 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 me. She's still comfortable um, investing even and more in our relationship. And I just think that that is a really beautiful thing. That's one of the things that makes the marriage relationship unique. That while your stock is going down, the investment in one another is going up. Okay, let me see. JB Fletcher said, we literally don't think of a successful marriage as a bundle of skill sets that need practice, patience, and grace. Yes, JB, exactly. I don't think we do. And as a result, we end up being hijacked. We end up in something that we do not have the skill sets for. We don't have the skills to stay faithful. You don't know what boundaries that you're supposed to set. You overestimate your abilities. Yeah, let me give this really, really beautiful person of the opposite, sex Bible studies. Yes, by ourselves. I mean, that you set yourself up for these really problematic situations.
For
Um,
sure.
and and yeah, there are literal skill sets.
Yes. We this is going to be our last question, and yes, we have a part 2, if not a part 3. So, yes, definitely part 2 will be next week, but this is going to be our last question for tonight. Um and it says, speaking of counseling, should a couple get marriage counseling from someone they know that is familiar with their relationship, or from someone who is not familiar? And I will say, not familiar. It's not wrong for you to talk to somebody who is familiar, if that is a pastor who knows you as or those type of things. I have to say, my husband and I, we spoke to 3 married couples that had been married for older married couples who had been married for a long time, and they did give good advice. The pastor who married us gave us some good advice, but I wish we would have done premarital counseling with a licensed professional on top of that.
So, and for that licensed professional, would it have been okay if they knew you?
No, I would want to I would have wanted them not to know us. Just,
R-
yeah, because we already spoke to people who knew us, and they,
Well,
and they weren't licensed, but and I'm not saying it's not wrong to talk to somebody who knows you, but
because
I
personally, I
yeah.
want the skills. That's what
I
I
want the
want.
skills too.
I
That's what
I
I'm
want
saying.
the,
I
I want
want
the
someone
skills.
who
If you know me and you got the skills, I'm cool. If you don't know
true.
me, if you don't know me, but you've got the skills,
The skills are the
because
most important.
that's all I'm emphasizing.
Yeah.
And people knowing you, there is something of an advantage, but there's also sometimes a disadvantage. But unfortunately, sometimes the familiarity lets
Right.
you choose the person even though they don't have the skills.
And this is coming from a pastor's wife who has done premarital counseling for members, but I know them pretty well because they've been members of our church, and I was giving them some of the same stuff I do give in the therapy room, but um I think because I'm the pastor's wife, they may not be qu- all the way as transparent with me as with someone who doesn't know them
Oh,
about everything,
no, fair enough, fair enough.
because they're
But
afraid of being judged and all of that, which I'm not going to judge them. But,
right,
they just, that's the human thought process.
right. I get what you're saying, but yeah,
Mhm.
I think I'm really focused on the skills because like so often you see people rushing in and they'll even force themselves on the couple. Hey, I'll do marriage couple, and it's like you're that's not your skill set,
Yeah.
like what other setting do you get a random person saying that they're going to give you skills on what they don't do?
Yeah. You don't want
I'm
to.
gonna do fire safety for you. Hey, what do you do for a living? I sell insurance. But yeah, I'm gonna do fire safety for you. Nah, man, I want a fireman, man. I don't.
Yeah.
I love you, Uncle Joe, but look, man. No, I want somebody who's actually trained in this area,
Yes.
who's helped people through some difficult situations.
Right.
Skills matter.
Skills do definitely matter. And I did say that was our last question. There's some great questions in the chat still.
Let's
So
try to
come
save
back.
them.
Yeah, come back next week, please. Bring a friend. Tell a married couple that, we're talking all about marriage and even single life relationships. So please come back. Come back with your questions, and bring all of you that are here, bring somebody with you. Do your best to bring somebody with you.
Amen.
So
Always
that
a
is
pleasure, sis.
Yes, always a pleasure too, and we're gonna have to make it a point to have our spouses on with us. We're gonna
I'm
we're gonna
game.
schedule that
I'm
definitely.
game. Totally game.
But thank you, everyone. Have a good evening, and we will see